What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we have Sneak Peek 3, and this is a wonderful, wonderful sneak peek for many of us out there, especially that are fans of this character. And this was something that was speculated on by some other content creators like Cynic Alex. Shout out to Cynic. But this is pretty freaking awesome. So greetings, agents. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. The Squadron Supreme will not be left out in the fight for power of the Phoenix. This leading superhero of Squadron Supreme has joined the tournament. Power beyond measure. You damn right, my friends. So we're going to go ahead and watch this thing. Check it out. Man, oh man. I like it. You see the Phoenix there, and if you look really closely, you'll see a little something, something. Oh, what was that? What was that? What was that? Let's back it up a little bit. We'll go frame by frame here and kind of back it up a little bit, my friends, and see what we kind of missed. Let me kind of speed this up a little bit and kind of scroll back here yonder. And look here, look here. Look what we see there. Tier 3, my friends. Tier 3. You see it pretty good right there in the black there and that flame. That is sick. That is a nice sneak peek, Netmarble. Very, very good job. Shout out to the team for doing this one. This looks cool. And, you know, lo and behold, that is Hyperion that is rising out of the volcano. I really like these sneak peeks. There's something about flaming themes, right? That's just really, really cool. Too hot to handle, if you will. But this is pretty damn cool. Now, Hyperion is a paywall character, but you will be able to get this character from the story mode, which is, or not from the story mode, I'm sorry, from the Dimension missions. He is available in here, and that is actually pretty cool. Because he's such an old paywall, he is going to be available in here. Now, I mean, it's going to be kind of crappy as far as trying to level up his uniform, because you're going to have to get a bunch of bios, unless you're going to spend, you know, the 40 American dollars or more in other currency to get the mythic uniform ticket. But this is pretty exciting, you know, and I gotta admit, I'm getting more excited about the update. I'm still very skeptical about what they're gonna do with Wolverine, I'm not gonna lie, but this is actually pretty cool. And so far, Hyperion, you know, he got this one uniform, and that's it, right, with the shade and the cell shading and all. And I actually kind of liked it, but the problem with the uniform was it was okay. It was a decent upgrade for him. But it's got this stupid charging skill. We all know, I mean, like, you all know how I feel about charging skills. I absolutely hate these things. But this one here, you know, it has a damage accumulation based on how much damage you take, right? But it does have invincibility. So that's actually kind of good. That was kind of the nice thing about it, is you could charge it and you wouldn't get guard broken and you actually do an attack. But let's be honest, we're at a point in the game where only certain characters like Shirag, Shirag's like one of the, well, actually Doom too, that had this, there's an exception to the rule when it comes to damage accumulation based on damage you take. Those two characters just are so good, even, you know, with that, I mean, and plus they're just really, really easy to play. And especially Sharon Rogers. I mean, she's just built to take damage, right? That's her whole thing. I mean, if they made Hyperion in that way, that wouldn't be so bad. If you had delayed skills where you could actually take a little bit of damage, or you're just going into a skill and you're not in an iframe and you take damage, like Shirag's new force skill in her newest uniform. I mean, those are pretty cool. But I mean, the character, I mean, they gave him an increased attack by 15%. I'm sorry, not by, I mean, they gave him an increased attack by 25%. My bad. Which is actually at the time wasn't too bad. But I mean, now we need that 40%. We need that 50%. I mean, but he does have really good survivability, right? With his passive, the 8% recovery of max HP heal. That's pretty cool. And honestly, this immunity to snare does come in handy every once in a while. It really helps. And then his leadership. Now, this is what I worry about with a character like Hyperion. I really, really worry that he's going to be relegated to just a leadership. We've seen this before, where we have characters with these crazy good leaderships, and then they get their tier 3, and then that's all we use them for. Now, that's still good, and it still makes them relevant in the game, especially with the leadership that applies to all characters, right? Let's go ahead and do this. And you let it go. Pow. That's pretty damn cool, but I kind of hope, you know, that we don't have that. I think one of the skills he can move around. Yeah, we can move around the third skill. I hope they keep this. I want to, it's because Hyperion, you know, I mean, look, he's Marvel's version of Superman. He can fly around, right? So it'd be pretty cool if we have another movable skill like what we have right now. I've always liked this. I've always loved these characters because they move around, because you can actually avoid taking damage, right? You can, your survivability increases so much more, and they're a lot more fun whenever you can move them around. Like characters that do that, like Gambit, man, I just love playing them. They're just fun because you're sitting there moving around all over the place. You know, that's pretty cool, the flying skill. But I mean, you know, the thing about Hyperion, I think right now, I believe he's got some long cooldowns on his skills, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I mean, look at this cooldown on this thing. This is ridiculous. I mean, you're looking at around 12 and a half, 13-second cooldown here. That is, I hope to God they get rid of that. I hope they make him more proc friendly. We want to see around that 8-second, 8.5-second, you know, cooldown max. I mean, if it's 7 seconds, that'd be pretty dope. But we don't really know, right? We don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I always want to see characters become more proc friendly, and I really do worry about him being just relegated to a leadership. I mean, they could increase his leadership. That's something they have done. They've changed leaderships for characters. He might have a leadership that only applies to Phoenix allies. They might change it to where it only applies to Phoenix allies, and all these characters that are getting these new uniforms, he could buff them up. Right? I mean, it's possible. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, it would make him a little bit more niche, but it would go along with the theme of the update, right? The Phoenix Force theme. So I think that would be pretty cool. But in all honesty, and the thing is, even if they did do that and you tier 3 him, you could always just, you know, have one of these, you know, have his base kit or this uniform equipped and still have the 45% increase of all attack. So I would be completely open to having a different leadership that only applied to Phoenix allies, a little bit better leadership for them, because you could still use him for leadership other than that. But I really don't want him to be just a leadership. And, you know, when it comes to Hyperion, you know, I really hope they give him, of course, you know, we say this all the time in all these videos, right? We want damage accumulation based on how much damage you deal. We want to be able to hit their skills and cancel them. That's another thing that he really doesn't have. Like, none of his skills you can really just hit and cancel. You got to charge up to 5. The 4, he flies around. The 3rd skill, you can't just cancel it. You got to move around with it. And, you know, we all know that when it comes to OP characters, that's a big thing for a lot of them. You know, whenever you can cancel skills, whenever you can get multiple attack buffs from different skills all at once on one particular skill and land all of your damage on that skill, similar to someone like Moonstone, they just do insane damage. So hopefully we'll have some cancelable skills. Hopefully we'll have damage accumulation based on how much damage you deal. I would really like to see something in his tier 3 where he's going to have like a giant, like a nice good damage proc, or an increase to, you know, whatever super villains or something like that, similar to Falcon's tier 3. That would be pretty dope. I mean, anything just to make him stronger. I mean, really, when it comes to Hyperion, I think if they just drop the cooldowns, if they make him more proc friendly, if they give him damage accumulation based on the damage you deal, or if they set him up in a way where if he does have the accumulation based on the damage you take, where he's going to be like Sharon Rogers, where you can actually hit your skills, kind of pause a little bit, right? Similar to what he can do already with his 5th skill, and just take the damage. That won't be so bad, because if you can sit there and charge up while your invincibility is up, you're not going to get guard broken. No one else is going to knock you back, and you can do a lot of damage, just like what Sharon Rogers does with the 4th skill. I mean, after you see that, it can be a pretty useful thing to have in a character as long as it works well with their kit. A lot of times, whenever they do this damage accumulation based on damage you take, right, they always do this thing where, like a War Machine, his 3rd skill, when he hits it, he'll almost immediately do a hit, and it sets off the proc. So you have to be very careful about timing whenever you take damage and going into your 5th skill and 4th skill afterwards when you're playing with that character. And that's what makes him kind of a pain in the butt to play. I mean, he's still an awesome character, but that just makes him a pain, right? Whereas someone like Sharon Rogers, it's easy to use her damage accumulation, right? And so if they keep that on Hyperion, if they build him in that way, that wouldn't be so bad. But honestly, I still always prefer the accumulation based on the damage you deal. It's just a lot easier. It's more consistent. You don't have to worry about sitting around and waiting. I mean, it's funny, you know, back in the day, like back when Sharon Rogers first came into this game, we loved the damage accumulation based on the damage you take. We loved it. And now it seems like many of us, I wouldn't say all of us, but many of us don't really care for it anymore. And we just don't want to see it for the most part. Even on Sharon Rogers right now, guys, like, I don't want to see it. I wish to God they would just get rid of accumulation based on how much damage you deal, because I still think that would have been better. But, you know, that's just a matter of opinion. But for her playstyle, it does work the way she's built. And if they did the same thing for Hyperion, he still could be pretty damn solid. If anything, he'll at least be a really good leadership for our characters. Another thing about Hyperion is he does have the leadership tag. So yeah, man, he's going to benefit from having White Fox. So that's also something else to note. He is an alien, so unfortunately there's going to be certain stages where he's not going to be applicable. But I mean, look, it doesn't matter if they're female, it doesn't matter if they're alien, it doesn't matter if they're male. There's going to be certain stages in War Boss Legend where they're not going to be applicable. So I mean, that's just one of those things that happens. But I'm really excited for Hyperion, man. He's a really, really OP character. If you've ever read some of the things he's done in comics, he's pretty over the top. So let me know how y'all feeling about Hyperion. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.